I can't believe I'm saying this. It's happened again. Jordan Gabriel has got another hip injury for 3 to 4 months. He's out injured again. The top earner at the club, just as a little reminder, got one hip injury, got the exact same injury 3 weeks ago. He has been an absolute waste of time, and it's rather frustrating. But with some bad news also comes some good. We have won 2 games in a row for the first time all season, and today we're doing battle against the team second from bottom in Nottingham Forest, a team who were predicted to finish 10th, have already sacked their manager this year, so they've got their new man in. Could be the new manager Bounce kicking in with this, his second game in charge. We're going to have to be at our best to beat them, and more importantly, I just need to get away from the drop as fast as possible. Looking at the league table, we're in 20th. The other game we're doing today is Blackpool, and both these games are away days. So for away day fans, it's your lucky day. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Prem. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Welcome to the start of a new week. And just as a little reminder, these videos this week and into next week a little bit have been recorded in advance, so I can't be as interactive as I'd normally be. That said, I look forward to coming back from my holiday and reading all the comments over the episodes towards the end of the week about how good or amazing or terrible a job I've done in charge here at Guernsey. Now, since you were last here, we've only played a handful of games, really. In fact, looking at things, we've played 6 league games, but these 2 away games to end the month of November, they do feel rather significant. They are 2 away days that I look at as potentially winnable games, and especially off the back of 2 wins in a row, I'm starting to think that maybe we can go on a little run here. To be fair, I was thinking that after last episode where we drew 2 games in a row. Then we had to take on top of the table Middlesbrough. We lost 1-0. We had 1 shot on target. We were not good in this game. I mean, silver lining, Tejera put in another good performance. So that is some good little bit of news. One thing of note, he fractured his wrist in this recent run of games. So he's actually missed some matches. Fortunately, it wasn't a more serious injury, but that is why there are all these red angry arrows on his attributes. After the defeat against Middlesbrough, we did draw 1-1 against Millwall. Wasn't exactly a classic performance, but Williams popping up with an all-important goal. This man now has 3 goals to his name. I believe that makes him the second top goal scorer at the club. That's not really saying a great deal, though, is it? 3 goals in, well, the end of November. Not ideal for your second top goal scorer. From 1-1-1 to another 1-1. This one against Watford, I feel like we could have, should have, probably would have won on another day. We had 2 goals rolled out for offside, including this one by Brandon Charles. You know what? I'm going to show this goal because this game finished 1-1. Watford have struggled this year. This was a very winnable away game. And when you see this highlight, you're just going to look at the football we played and think, man, how happy must you have been when you went and saw this go in? And the answer is, I was delighted. Look at this. We cut them open. It's the 92nd minute. It's 1-1 against a relegation rival. Panny, little give and go. Haddo, Charles slots it in. The flag was raised. I didn't notice right away, and I was very sad. So after that 1-1 draw against Watford, we then lost 3-0 against QPR. We were humiliated in this game, although Williams did get sent off. He wasn't in my good books. He was dropped for the next game because he was suspended. And in this next game, we popped up with a win. 2-1 against Coventry. Brandon Charles came into the team to start. Elsewhere, Abubakari putting in a really, really good performance. He's already developed quite a lot since he's joined the team, it feels like. He's also now accomplished a defensive midfielder. You might have noticed with this recent run of games, I have started to play the defensive mids more and more. And I think it is something that undeniably has worked in our favour because as you can see here, we managed to beat Peterborough as well. Another win, our 4th home win of the year. We're still yet to win away from home. We're going to hope that changes today. In this match, Williams made up for getting sent off, came back into the team, scored a goal. We kept a clean sheet, and I mean, you can see by the sea of green ratings here, it was just a top quality performance by the whole team. So with that run of matches, at least for now, we are out the drop zone. That said, Watford, who we drew 1-1 against, are only 3 points behind us. We are still a long, long way away from the end of this season. Of course, it's 46 matches, and I feel like the 2 coming up today are massive. If we win these, we could make it 4 wins in a row. We could get our first away win of the season. It would be amazing. Forest up first is not going to be easy, and it is a trip to the City ground. Now, to be honest, it doesn't feel like that long ago that we were heading to Nottingham to play Notts County. Of course, today we are playing Nottingham Forest, which I'm going to assume is going to pop up on the map and make it easy to find, because I'm not entirely sure where the City ground is in the city. I found Notts County's ground. Oh, the city ground is literally next door. I did not realise they were literally across the river from one another. I mean, You assume they're local rivals and all that. That is ridiculous how close they are, isn't it? How have I never known that? Okay, so looking at the City ground, first things first, car park. Stronger car park than Salford's, although yesterday's, or rather Friday's away day kind of bar was set rather low. Looking at the City ground here from above, I mean, I'm going to hope that they're fixing the pitch and it's not going to look like this for us. I mean, they've got the Brian Clough stand, they've got the kayak club next door, so you can go play some football, then get on the River Trent, I guess. Down to the south, they've got the Nottingham Forest Mega Store. It's called a Mega Store. I need to see how mega it is. Is it officially mega? The Mega Store. Would you describe this as mega? Of course, just as a little reminder, we are today playing Champions League winners back in the 1980s. A little while ago now, but it did happen. And also, look at this car park in all its glory. Painted lines. I mean, they've probably seen better days, but this image is from 2019. Maybe they repainted them when they got promoted to the Premier League in real life. Now the question is there any drone footage? Because that's what we live for, and it doesn't appear there is. There is one dot in the Brian Clough stand. We're going to hope it's a good image, and it was taken by Daniel Slay. Shout out to Daniel Slay. It's a little bit empty, isn't it? I'm hoping that it's going to be a bit more full of Guernsey faithful than whatever match this was. I am attempting to do some amateur detective work. I'm trying to figure out what game this could be. December 2016, evening match. I'm sure there's some Forest fans out there who could help me out. I can't even tell if that's the Forest players. I mean, they're wearing red socks, so that's probably the Forest team. So whose team is this over here? I don't know, answers on a postcard. I have retreated to Google Earth. I don't know if my mic's picking it up. Some gardeners have started mowing the lawn outside. They must be Notts County fans. They're not happy I'm giving Forest all this coverage. I mean, look at this stand. It is beautiful. Location is really cool as well, right next to the river and also across the road from their neighbours. Sorry, Notts County. Forest do have the better car park. You can't convince me otherwise. And of course, after the away day, you can just go do some kayaking. I mean, there's no cinema, but it's a lovely ground, lovely location. Big fan of the car park. Downside, not enough footage inside the stadium. So for that reason, and pretty much that reason alone, 6.5 out of 10. So heading into this game against Forest, we have got a couple of injuries still to contend with. Owen Beck still injured. Burstow still coming back from injury, failed his fitness test. He has been missing for a very long time, it feels like. Feels like an age ago since he was playing back at the start of the season. Elsewhere, of course, Gabriel is out injured, so Haddo is going to come into the team. George Urphy has also picked up a fairly significant injury, sprained knee ligament. So these injuries are adding up a little bit. It's a good job we do have a fairly, well, adequately sized squad. So looking over at the starting 11, you might notice we are starting with the two defensive midfielders and the wing-backs on attack. Haddo is coming in, of course, with the injury to Gabriel. We don't really have another right-back option. In terms of the instructions, still looking for the overlap, but you might have noticed here I've upped the tempo, shortened the passing and asked for us to look to pass into space a little bit more. Slowly evolving the tactic. This is what I've settled on. It's worked for the last couple of games. Let's see if today we can finally get our first away win of the season. Besides the Watford game recently, I don't feel like we've played too many of the teams in and around us, at least immediately. Today is a couple of those teams, and certainly when I look at this one, I have to view it as winnable. We might have a chance here early on. Donald puts it in, and I thought for a second it was going to be Tejera going for the header. I'm not sure who won it ahead of him. I will say now, Tejera, 20 jumping reach. Really tried to aim for him with corners and stuff. He has still not scored for us. Desperately trying the reverse curse of the commentator here. If I mention he's not scored, then he's surely going to score in this video. 5 minutes left of this first half. It has whizzed by. We've been edging out possession, having a little bit more of the ball in dangerous areas, a few more shots than Forest, but truth be told, it's been a game where there's not been a great deal to talk about, but maybe that's about to change here because Beckford is in possession, giving it inside to Donald. Davies dropping it deep, gives it to Mackenzie. Looking to build out from the back, of course, with so many players starting deep, does allow us just to craft out opportunities, and this is some really scintillating football we're seeing. Mackenzie bringing it forward, the left wing-back squares it, Williams is in there. And I thought for a second he was offside. He's not offside. He has to take the blame there. He's kicked it straight at the keeper. Silver lining, we do have a corner. It's Donald over it, whipping it in. Loads of players in the middle. Unfortunately, it's dealt with well. I did think that was going to be the end of the action for the half, but I'll tell you what, it might not be. Don't go and get your half-time burger just yet, because Forest are on the attack. Ball whipped in, Rigby, first real touch of the game we've seen for him, making a stop and then distributing it quickly. I have to assume that something more is going to happen here. And well, as we surrender possession like that, I've got this uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach. Aboubakari battling away. Tejera lumps it forward. Williams wins it. Aboubakari again, he's everywhere. Nodded on towards Kamara. Can he take it round the keeper? On his weaker right foot, he's going to slot it into the far corner and give us the lead. What Kevon Williams lacks in footballing ability, he makes up in his ability to jump high and win nod-ons like that. Not many strikers that can compete with centre-backs when it comes to aerial ability. Williams is one of them, and between he and Aboubakari's persistence, we've managed to find the breakthrough. I'll tell you what, Aboubakari, not a name that rolls off the tongue. Half-time here, 1-0 up. I'm a happy man right now. We've defended well, created loads, maybe a little bit concerned about the bookings, if I'm being honest. There's a temptation to take off Beckford here, and you know what? I'm going to take him off. Bobby Thomas, come on down. This man is the go-to option whenever we get a yellow card, and it happens quite often. You might have noticed 7 sub-appearances as a centre-back. I suppose when you have 5 subs, it's a bit easier to justify changing a defender, especially with 3 at the back. I don't know, maybe that's a me thing. I don't normally like to change my back 2 centre-backs if I'm playing a 4 at the back, but suddenly when you're playing 3 centre-backs, it doesn't feel as weird or odd to change one of the centre-backs. I no idea why I feel like that, it's just how I do feel. Our play here, so far so good. I am going to just drop a couple of changes, I think. I'm going to ask the players to lower the tempo slightly, look less to pass into the space and less overlapping, with the positive mentality, just hoping to keep our men behind the ball a little bit more. I know Kamara's booked, but he is looking ill-disciplined, so we're going to bring in Brandon Charles. Elsewhere, Percy Donald, I think, is going to come off here for Gallagher. Have got 2 more changes if I want to make them, but to be honest, I don't want to upset things too much with radical changes, so I think we'll just go with the changes that we have there. And with 25 minutes left, I'm kind of keen for us to now just see this game out. 20 minutes left, Forest naturally going to go on the attack here as the home team, as a team that will view this as a game they have to win in their relegation battle. They're going to throw men forward. It might leave them open to the counter-attack. Speaking of which, we might have a chance here. Mackenzie on the near side has looked very dangerous going forward today. And, well, on this occasion, maybe not so dangerous. He has dropped the ball there with that pass, was trying to pick out Brandon Charles, didn't find his man. And now, well, they're on the attack for the moment, but Thomas has just lumped it clear. I mean, it's not pretty from us, but it's away from danger, at least for now. Gilmore with the ball, gives it away to Williams, who, well, we talked about his aerial ability. This is a man who will work hard, he will run hard. He squared it to Aboubakari. And I thought for a second they were going to link up again and it was going to result in another goal. Walton with a free kick for Forest, just inside his own penalty area. We are going to win the ball back well, though. There is a big battle for the ball going on. Forest with a lot more players, you can see, just committed forward here. Dominic Solanke going to play it forward to Muncaster, who's hit the woodwork. And Thomas is just about going to get it away from danger. Corner for Nottingham Forest. My heart is in my mouth. I'm starting to worry. It's headed away initially. Brandon Charles. Can he run away and carry the ball away from danger? No, he cannot. He loses it immediately. White, edge of the box, pulls the trigger. Just over. 6 minutes left of this game, plus any added time. I'm going to bring in Hassana for Haddo, who is looking a little worse for wear out on the right wing-back position. Elsewhere, Davis has not had the best of matches. Going to make our final change. Connor Panny, come on down. He's actually going to play as our centre attacking mid here. Panny can't play that defensive midfielder role like Gallagher and Aboubakari can. And while I'm hoping we are going to see things out here, we are going to see things out here. It is 3 wins in a row. It is another clean sheet. It's not big. It's not sexy. But these are the kind of results we've got to grind out if we want to win. And I think that was a deserved victory at that. I feel like when you're in a relegation battle, it's so important to get away wins, especially against the teams in and around you. You can't rely on some good home form to carry you. That win there carries us up to 17th place. And suddenly, 21 points. Things are looking a little bit better for us. That said, if we just look over our shoulders, Watford, Nottingham Forest, just 6 points behind. So we are anything but safe yet. Now, I did take a little bit of a gamble today because both Nottingham Forest and Blackpool are teams that don't score many, but also don't concede many. They are very good defensive sides. I say very, that's probably generous, but they're solid for where they are in the table defensively. But when it comes to goals scored, much like ourselves, they don't really score many. I mean, you can see here, Blackpool, they've scored 15 goals so far in 18 games. We've scored 17 in 18 games. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this next game is probably going to be a 1-0, much like the last one was. That said, if you watch football, you know that's never how it works. These kind of games that are coming up, they're the kind of games which finish 4-4. At least that's what it feels like when I put a bet on them. Anyway, we are going to be heading to Bloomfield Road. We're heading to Blackpool. I kind of want to go to the theme park whilst I'm there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that. I'm not sure how close the stadium is to it. If I get distracted, we might end up at the Pleasure Beach. I'll join you guys in a moment for that one. Do not go anywhere. So having had a lovely day out in Nottingham, we're going to head further north, further west. We're going to head over to Blackpool. Of course, this game just 3 days later. And for people not in the UK, you might not know this. Blackpool, lovely place to go on holiday. Has a zoo, has a theme park, has a football stadium. This isn't the right stadium. I have now found the stadium. It's right on the coast. Where is the pleasure beach? Where is the theme park? It's somewhere. I've gone the wrong way here, haven't I? It's south. Here you go. Here's the pleasure beach. We'll take a quick look at this. You know, for non-natives or people who never played Roller Coaster Tycoon, there you've got the big one. Great roller coaster. Used to be sponsored by Pepsi. Yeah, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, everyone. I feel like this image makes it look really, really I promise it's better in person. I mean, look at it. They've planted tropical palm trees outside the stadium. Nothing screams luxury like this. Here is the stadium. I know. Unless it was labelled with Blackpool FC, you probably wouldn't recognise this as a football stadium at first glance. They've got the club shop in the stadium, and next to the stadium there is this rather jazzy looking hotel. What is up with this? This is very jazzy. I found one of the back entrances to the stadium, the late gate. I mean, it doesn't look very welcoming, does it? The barbed wire's a nice touch. Good news for you away day fans. I noticed there are lots of dots in the stadium. Now, they're not on the pitch. They are literally in the stadium. So is this the same person who's just taken a load of different pictures, or have the pictures just not been put in the right location? We're about to find out. Oh my word, where am I? I have no idea what I've walked in on here. I mean, they've got a coffee machine. What brews can they do? They've got PG. That's me sorted. Wait, what is this area we are inside here? This is in the football stadium. It looks like a hospital. The Seasiders team. I feel like I'm not meant to be here. This is not part of the away day. People come here for work experience. What is this place? I need to check. This is definitely in the football stadium, right? This feels like I'm not in the right place. The Seasiders Learning Centre. Oh, it's to help you develop skills for work. Did a little bit of Googling. I believe the Seasiders Learning Centre is tied to Blackpool College in some way. Love the fact that during the week when it's not a football stadium, the space is actually used for educational purposes in the community. Thumbs up from me, Blackpool FC. Apparently there is a gym in the football stadium. Unless this is the Blackpool players. Does he play for Blackpool? Probably not. I'm still just going to go through all these other dots and see if there's anything else. I mean, it's more pictures of the same gym. Is this the Blackpool team we're coming up against? I mean, from the back, he does look a bit like a regen. Unfortunately, all these dots in and around the stadium don't seem to actually correspond to anything to do with the actual football stadium itself. I have retreated to Google Earth for a second time this episode to get a better look at the stadium. It's a cool looking ground, I don't know how old Bloomfield Road is. I do really like the location of this stadium, right next to the seaside, cool little community ground. Love the stuff they do where they have lots of stuff, it appears, going on in the stadium, like the gym. Obviously, there's the hotel connected to. Blackpool fans, if you want to tell me more about what's going on in the stadium during the weeks, I'd be very interested to know. All in all, though, lack of footage in the stadium is going to cost it. I am still going to give Blackpool's away day here. I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10. I've just spotted they do have a car park. Is it a good car park? I've seen better. Somewhat difficult to justify making any changes going into this game. I feel like with our current squad, we had as good a game as we could expect against Forest. It's not like I have a load of really good attacking options to throw in to radically shake things up. Instead, we have got to just rely on our solidity at the back. With that in mind, no changes. Players have been rested up. Hopefully we can make it 4 wins in a row. I can't believe I'm even uttering those words. That's crazy. It's quite a contrast, really, isn't it? You think about our early seasons here at Guernsey and how the attitude was always, we'll score more than the other team down in the lower leagues. We're now here in the Championship, and I'm sat here talking about just prioritising the clean sheet and just holding it firm at the back. But it is working, so I guess it's not that bad of a move. Interesting to note as well here, Blackpool are playing a 4-2-3-1. We've not played 4-2-3-1s much this year. I'd like to think we match up fairly nicely against it. 20 minutes into this game, 63% of the ball. We're edging out the shots total as well, although no highlights early on. At the moment, we are over the wage budget and we have very little transfer budget, but if there was one area where I could go and make a signing, it probably would be a new star striker, as much as I like Kamara and Williams. And they're kind of doing the job adequately. I do wonder if there was just a bit of quality to spearhead our attack, how much better off we'd be, especially with how good we are defensively, and some of the creativity we now have with the likes of Percy McDonald and also Brian Davis in the team. Anyway, somehow, it's already half-time in this game. I don't think there was a highlight in that half. I said, didn't I? Blackpool don't score many. They don't concede many. The writing was on the wall. You should have put a bet on 0-0, is what I'm saying. You know what? I am going to change things up slightly because we're having a lot of the ball without doing a great deal with it. So I'm going to up the passing directness. I'm also going to tell us in transition to distribute it quickly. And, I kind of want to change this and I don't want to change it. You know what? I am going to just keep with the mentality of let's roll the ball out. I feel like when you have roll the ball out, you do such a good job of not just immediately giving the ball away. There is always a temptation to be a bit more direct with our play, but given how we approach things, I don't really want to change that instruction. Right now, both wing-backs having particularly good games. Aboubakari's been a bit quiet in this one, so I think I'm going to take him off and bring in Pani at centre mid. We're going to play him as a box-to-box midfielder. Elsewhere, in the final third, things haven't exactly been great. We're going to bring in Brandon Charles, Tim Apshawn, and you know what? I'm going for the triple change. Burstow passed a fitness test to play how long? 45 minutes. He can come on in this game. Let's get some fresh legs in the final third, see if that can change the tide of this game. There is a little bit of me that is bothered when I have to go to this asymmetric layout, and I am actually training Pani now to play defensive midfielder, but at least right now, don't really feel comfortable dropping him deep. Free kick for Blackpool here. First highlight of the game, and I'll tell you what, they've hit the woodwork. We've ridden our luck there, but it is away from danger. I want to believe a counter-attack could happen, but I've also played enough Football Manager to know 99 times out of 100, this highlight ends with a slide tackle and a throw-in. Or a foul like that. That's disgraceful. Get him booked. Just 10 minutes left of this game. If we were the home side, I'd be really tempted to properly go for this game. But as the away team, and given where we are right now, a draw against Blackpool really isn't that bad. They are not down in the relegation zone. They're a team kind of in the bottom half, the kind of team that would be good to take any points against. And, well, 3 minutes of added time, we are going to take some points against them. I will hold up my hands in a minute. That might be the worst game we've had of the series so far. I think there was one highlight in the entire match. If you put a bet on 0-0 at halftime, like I suggested, you're welcome. You're probably a millionaire right now. I say that, this was a very likely result. The odds would have been terrible. But with that draw, we stay in 17th. You can see Blackpool are in 14th. They're a good little team. And as for the teams trailing us, Nottingham Forest couldn't win. And perhaps more importantly, Derby County slipped up. Of course, Derby County and MK Dons were promoted with us. Watford have actually moved out of the drop zone. But we are, at least for now, still 6 points clear. So it's all fine at the moment. Tim Apshawn has played 16 matches without finding the back of the net. That is a little bit concerning, isn't it? Also, he's asked to leave because I'm not playing him enough. He wants a new challenge. How about, here's a challenge, mate. Score in the championship. But I've got a little bit carried away there. It's not sexy, but it is getting the job done. Look at these recent results. There's very rarely games where you get more than a singular goal for either team. But you know what? Unbeaten in our last 4, 1 defeat in our last 7. It's the kind of form that's going to keep us up at the end of the day. I would be interested to know what you think of the approach we're taking this year, with it being kind of all about being just solid at the back and defensively. Am I being overly cautious? Is the system too defensive with the defensive midfielders? Like I said, I think in an earlier episode, the AI likes to play this kind of defensive setup quite a lot. And I do feel like as a team that is naturally going to have a lot of pressure put on us by high-quality teams going forward, it leaves us in a really good position to counter-attack and just remain solid at the back. I feel like we've seen that with 2 clean sheets today. So in terms of when we're going to be back next time, I'm not entirely sure yet. Originally, I was thinking if things didn't go to plan today, we would come back and do Derby County, MK Dons and Hull as a triple header. Of course, Derby, MK Dons, 2 teams we were promoted with last year who are in the drop zone. I still might do that, and I know people might find that a little bit weird, but they are games that if we win, if we can enter mid-table, I can then whiz through the rest of the season a little bit quicker, and they are 2 of the games against the 2 teams who came up with us that I am looking at thinking, we have to win those no matter what. So with that in mind, I think next time we will be back for a triple header. Get some popcorn at the ready. Hopefully it'll be a bit more action-packed than today's games. You can blame the players for that, but we got the job done. 4 games unbeaten. Things are looking up. Never been so happy to be 17th place in the league. If you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure to drop a like on it. I will see you guys again tomorrow for more Park to Prem action. Until then, take it easy. It is me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.